Imagine every time we did one of these episodes, we were getting paid $50,000. It probably wouldn't affect you that much. But I would be thinking everything I say would be different. I would be overthinking everything. I wouldn't be myself as much. Did I say the F word in the last episode? Gonna make sure we gotta cut that out because the sponsors aren't gonna like that. It wouldn't be the same. It couldn't be the same.
You're just uncertain. You don't know if you trust me. You don't know if you trust the product or service. You don't know if you trust the brand. And that's why you and I have to be consistent, because we have to prove ourselves. That's why everyone buys AirPods. Apple has proven itself. For 48 years, Apple has proven itself. That's why everyone has a favorite actor or actress. They've proven themselves.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1867, 2 ways your ego holds you back. I get an audio message from, I would consider this person a friend now, because I've been talking to this person for a long time, but they're a podcaster, they're a coach, and they reach out to me occasionally for advice. And they love sending me audios, and I love hammering them with audios back. It's fun. I very much enjoy that. That's how I communicate with people. I just love talking, evidently. They messaged me and said, hey, I have this opportunity. First, they said, if you were me, what would you do to make money the fastest humanly possible? I said, all right, cool. That's the frame. I live in an apartment complex, and the gym in the apartment complex is looking for a personal trainer. I happen to be a personal trainer, and it's mine if I want it. I have a really good opportunity here to go and train people. Not a lot of people use the gym, so the apartment complex wants more people to come. So it's kind of a synergistic relationship where I'm going to help them grow the people that come. I'll be able to make money doing it. Boom. And he asks really good questions. He said, Kev, what are the things that I have to release in order to make this actually work? And we have a really good relationship. And I messaged him back and I said, you have to release your effing ego. And
Did you ask him the question about the truth thing?
No, this is a different client.
Oh.
I know he wants all the truth. Give him all of the truth. He's ready for it all. We'll do an episode. We're going to do an episode on truth and how much you want and what it feels like when you give too much. It feels like too much truth to someone. That's a whole thing. I said, you have to drop your effing ego. And here's why. From my perspective, what you should do is you should run a free boot camp with anybody that wants to come and just add massive value, be yourself because you're a great person and people are attracted to that, and just add as much value as humanly possible. I'm willing to bet that those people will want to come back for more. I'm also willing to bet that if you do a really good job, some people will just ask you, well, what do you do? What are your packages like? Do you do personal training, or is there some sort of accountability, maybe an online component, which he has all of those? And he messaged me back and he's like, dude, that's exactly what I needed to effing hear. And he was fired up. Now, on the opposite end, there could possibly be somebody who your ego is holding you back because you're getting taken advantage of, because you're not putting up what you're worth. You're not valuing yourself accurately. Now, this is a challenging episode to do because where you are in your dream chasing journey, your credentials, your experience, the demand you have, those are all important factors. This person is somebody who is credentialed. They have a lot of experience. They said to me, how do I make money as fast as humanly possible? You give stuff away for free, and some people will just be attracted and I think they'll work with you based on the fact that you're good at what you do. There might be somebody else out there. The advice they need is you reach out to all the people that you've served before and you tell them your new price. And since you've added value to them in the past, I'm sure they'll respond positively. You have people you've helped. That's kind of how I would go. But when I'm saying the 2 ways your ego holds you back, one, you're either overvaluing yourself, which is holding you back from opportunity, practice, and mastery, or you're undervaluing yourself, which is probably holding you back from building self-worth. If you always feel like you're being taken advantage of, you probably aren't building self-worth and self-belief. So that's my opening for this.
I'm trying to think of ways to go with this one that aren't focused on business per se.
It is tough. It is tough with this.
Well,
even if we were to do a relationship, there was someone in the past that you and I knew that essentially said they weren't going to settle for somebody any less than a person that you and I knew.
I think they said, I'm not going to settle for anyone less than you or Kevin.
Okay. Weird to talk about us in that live on a podcast episode. I know, you know what I mean. I'm not saying you shouldn't have said it, but you know what I mean. With all the love in the world, this person, if they were waiting for that forever, would have been in trouble, not because they weren't wonderful, not because they weren't intrinsically valuable, none of that. They just hadn't put that amount of work into themselves yet. Just like we talked about recently, especially in relationships, it's not about what you can attract, it's what you can attract and sustain. That second thing is the kicker. That's the big one. That person, if they were over with their expectations of what they can attract, they might be lonely forever. But you and I have also known magnificently wonderful people who have done a ton of work on themselves, who were convinced they could never attract a high-quality partner, and unfortunately settled for garbage relationships. So that's an example.
There's such, I thought, strong, powerful pause there. I thought you were done. There's such a conundrum here. There is such a conundrum here.
Alan is about to have a mental breakdown here on a Saturday morning.
Saturday morning?
This episode is dropping on Saturday. It's the future. It's bright. The future's bright. I've seen
it. Okay. I've seen it. Okay. This is the conundrum.
Okay.
Everyone who's a long-term listener to the show has heard me do this metaphor 1,000 times. 36 in November, 3.6. Alan, 3.6. Alan 3.6 is capable of attracting and charging a different level than Alan 3.5, than Alan 3.4, okay. So here's the conundrum. On one hand, you are worth a certain amount at a certain point in time. On the other hand, that worth increases or decreases over time depending on the context. Mm-hmm. So, for example, Alan 3.6 as a fitness model is significantly worth less than Alan 2.9 when I was in the best shape of my life. So not only is worth completely contextual, and not only is everyone intrinsically worthy spiritually, however, in the economy and in the context, it changes basically every single day. So, for example, if there is a woman out there who, metaphorically, really likes blondes who are tall, I'm going to be worth more to them than Kevin. Mm. If they like someone who has really, really big arms, like Kevin,
there it is right there,
and love tattoos.
You looking for Kevin, a meatball with tattoos? I'm your man.
Kevin
I'm married, but I'm your man.
Exactly. And so this is, all of us have to figure out where we fit. And the metaphor here is, picture the best NBA player swimming and then Michael Phelps playing in the NBA, whatever. All value is contextual. All of it. Always. In the tangible world, okay, I tell this story about Emilia and I climbing Mount Wachusett one time, and we forgot waters, and we were dehydrated as hell, and I said I would pay someone $50 for a water right now. That's how thirsty I am. And I had this moment of value is contextual. A water bottle is worth, I don't know, $1.05 when you're in a convenience store with a bunch of other options like Coca-Cola or Sprite or whatever. In abundance, it's worth a lot. But a water in the desert when you're starving or dying of dehydration is worth all the money you have. Worth and value is so contextual, it's so hard to explain, and that's why I was scared to do this episode. So two sides of ego. One, you overvalue yourself. Two, you undervalue yourself. What is the optimal value of Next Level University? What is the optimal value of my business coaching? What is the optimal value of your podcast coaching? It depends on the person. It depends on their goals. It depends on their perception of us. It depends on where you and I are at in our journey. It depends on how much experience we've accumulated. It really does depend. And this is why it gets so messed up in the marketplace, because There are some people I know that are not that valuable at all, that are being paid a lot. There are some people that are valued a ton that are paid very little, but it really does depend on a couple factors that we teach in group coaching, which is number one, how difficult would it be to replace you? Number two, how good are you at what you do statistically compared to others? And number three is how needed is what you do in the world. So how needed is podcasting to a podcaster? How needed is growing the show? How good are you at it, Kev, compared to other podcast coaches? And all of that is based on their perception too, so it gets really wonky. But ultimately, everyone out there right now, to make this practical, are you overvaluing yourself and therefore not getting enough opportunities? I know multimillionaires who still do things for free to show the value. You and I, when we were growing up, we had a place called the Providence Place Mall and Emerald Mall. You remember the Emerald Mall?
Of course.
Umi Chicken. You remember Umi Chicken?
I don't remember Umi Chicken, no.
All right, so the food court at the Emerald Mall was awesome, especially back in the early 2000s. And we would go to the mall. That used to be a thing for the youngsters. Go to the mall. Maybe that still is. I don't know.
I was talking to a 24-year-old gentleman the other day, and I said, remember AOL Instant Messenger? Remember AIM? And he looked at me weird, and he's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, how old are you again? And he's like, I'm 24. And I said, you just lied to me. You just lied straight to my face. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm old. I'm an older man now. It was wild. Sorry to interrupt you.
AOL Instant Messenger, yeah. Good times, man. GTs. Okay, so Emerald Mall, Kevin and I used to go. There's a place called Umi, and they have this awesome food. And they would give samples of Umi chicken. And every time they got me, they're like, hey, you want some free chicken? Yes, 100%. Give me them. Give me several. Toothpicks. Let's do it. And then I always ended up getting Umi. That's exactly how businesses run. That's why Google is free until you pay for it. That's why movies have previews. I gotta say this. The whole overinflate your value, charge what you're worth thing, I get it. I do. It's a mistake in business unless you got to set it up with both. One, it's a taste test. On one extreme, you give everything away for free forever. On the other extreme, you are only worth a certain amount and you never stray from that. And neither one makes sense. And in a business, you have to do both. So I tried not to make it business.
I knew you were going to go business, and that's okay.
I had to, man.
This is my thought. It also depends on what your goal is. So, okay. If you believe you are capable of attracting and sustaining a relationship with the mirror image of you as the most amazing human walking the planet, awesome. Are you willing to wait for as long as it takes to find that person? Because if not, that's a different conversation. How important is family to you now? That's a different conversation. If this person said to me, well, I want to make money in 5 years, that wouldn't have been the advice I would have given.
Yeah.
It would have been different. I said, actually, I probably would have given the same advice, honestly. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
It wouldn't have been the exact same advice.
No, it wouldn't have been the same exact.
Well, the boot camp thing is very smart. I think that's really smart.
It would have been free boot camp.
Yeah.
And then from there, maybe it changes.
Well, if you're out there watching or listening to this, think about it. NLU is free. We can't keep growing this podcast without ever making money. So let's say there's 100,000 people who listen. 10,000 of them are podcasters. Again, I'm just making numbers up here. And of those 10,000 podcasters, 1,000 of them eventually work with us. That's how it works. And I wonder, and again, I know I'm making this a little bit business, but a lot of people out there, dream chasers, you want to turn your passion into purpose, into profit. So let me just kind of go off here for a second.
Go off.
You have to put yourself out into the world for free in order for the right people to find you. And this podcast is free. If we charged for this podcast, we wouldn't have 1 million listens and we would never have made $1 million. We only were able to do that by adding free value and building relationships with listeners and caring about you and your growth. And some of you are podcasters who need help with production or coaching. Some of you are business owners who need to learn how to build a business. That's great. And for some of you, you never will. That's okay. Everyone who listens to this show most likely is into self-improvement and has goals and dreams. Okay, that's layer 1. Layer 2 is, okay, I want a podcast and I want to build my own community as well. Okay, layer 2 is, I actually have a business. I need to generate revenue. Otherwise, I'm going to go out of business like Kevin and Alan. So that's
Wait, we're going out of business?
No. But we would have if we didn't
Oh,
learn how
okay.
to make money.
Gotta make sure I didn't miss something.
No, we were podcasters who didn't make any money before.
Yeah,
a couple
we were in
years in,
trouble.
and we were in trouble. And so what did we do? We coached for free, and then the umi chicken was so delicious that those people were willing to coach with us for paid. I think we started with $50 a week, and then it was $75, and then we went up from there. But ultimately, you have to give people certainty. And I told Kev I was going to share this quickly. So there's 4 things that need to happen prior to, and he's the chief sales officer, so he knows this. There's 4 things before anyone makes a decision. Kevin one time told me Oppenheimer was a great movie, and I went to go watch it. Here's why. You have to be certain about 4 things before you take an action, particularly with a business. You have to be certain. I'm going to use NLU as an example. Okay, so let's say you do business coaching with me. Forget about Oppenheimer. Okay, you need to be certain about me as a person. You need to trust me. Number 2, you have to be certain about Next Level University as a company and as a brand. Number 3, you have to be certain about the service. You need to understand what the service actually is, metrics, habits, goals, identity. Is this going to work or not? And then number 3, you have to be certain it'll be worth the price. So if you're not certain it'll be worth the price, that's why I do a free session so that you go, whoa, I need this. This is going to change my life. If I could guarantee you with a very high % certainty that I will help you achieve all your goals and dreams, why wouldn't you work with me? You're just uncertain. You don't know if you trust me. You don't know if you trust the product or service. You don't know if you trust the brand. And that's why you and I have to be consistent, because we have to prove ourselves. That's why everyone buys AirPods. Apple has proven itself. For 48 years, Apple has proven itself. That's why everyone has a favorite actor or actress. They've proven themselves. And that's why, certain actors and actresses that have a 30-year career get paid more for big budget films than brand new actors, because brand new actors, they're really taking a chance. NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know, if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes.
Well, even one of the more famous cases of this, I believe Jonah Hill took $50,000 to be in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Because he understood, number 1, this is going to be a huge movie. Number 2, Scorsese's directing it. Number 3, Leonardo DiCaprio is the main actor, and the opportunity here is massive. Imagine if he turned that down and said, well, excuse me, I was just in Moneyball or whatever. I don't know what his movie before that was. And I was paid
I don't know if you know, but I was in Superbad.
I was paid a cool $2.5 million, so I was really hoping, adios, Jonah. On to the next one. We'll find someone else. Thank you.
100%.
Best of luck moving forward. Maybe we'll see you in the sequel.
Yeah.
But it's hard. That's why it's really hard if you have low self-worth as a dream chaser, or if you have delusionally low or delusionally high self-worth, it jeffs things.
Messes everything up. Yeah.
It can mess everything up, because then you say, you know what? Well, that person just wasn't right for me because they didn't want to pay $5,000. And then that becomes the thing. Well, here's a good question. Would you pay $5,000 for what you do? Would you pay someone to do what you do for $5,000? Because if not, that's something.
That's a great question.
I would pay somebody $147 for business coaching if I knew that they knew what they were doing. I would pay $147 to ask somebody about podcasting if I truly believe they knew what they were doing.
100%.
I would not pay $1,500. That's why my prices are not $1,500.
Especially if you're uncertain. Especially if you barely know them. Especially right?
I want to help. I want to help more people. And not most people can't afford what percentage of podcasters can afford a $1,500 coaching call? 1% of 1% of 1% of 1%. That's the other thing.
The numbers on that. 1,500 times, let's say you do what, once a month?
Yeah, let's say 1,500 times 12.
$18,000 a year for coaching. Now,
come on in.
One day will that happen? Who knows? And honestly, probably not. No, it probably will. Way, way, way later. But at the end of the day, here's the deal. You can't sustain that. I pay out of pocket for therapy. If it was outrageous, I could never do it. Not that I couldn't do it, but I wouldn't do it. I'm so passionate about this, dude. You can't charge 50 G's to go to the movies.
No.
You and I were at a business seminar one time that was so hot garbage. They said just add a 0. Okay. My iPhone cost me what? $50 a month. Something like that. Okay? If it was $500 a month, I would go buy an Android. I just would.
Well, yeah.
Your BMW, let's say it was 70 G's a month. Okay, can't do it. Right? It's $700 a month.
Yeah, there's no way.
Add a 0? What a dumb piece of advice.
There was a young lady there who had never coached before. She was a new entrepreneur, new dream chaser, doing her thing. And after that portion of the seminar, I took her outside. I went outside with her. I didn't take her outside. I went outside with her. And I said, I know what you're thinking. Don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, don't do it. I know. It sounds awesome.
I actually coached her. I coached her for a short time. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm pretty sure
she was horribly misled.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she went out of business.
She did go out of business.
I'm pretty sure she went out of business.
She did go out of business.
Unfortunately, because you can't do that in the beginning. It doesn't. My belief is that is one of the laziest coaching things ever. Is people just say, well, what have you ever thought of just raising your prices? Some people, that's true. If you've been doing it for 30 years and you're charging $19 for a call, okay, that's different.
Add a 0.
I said this to
add a 0.
I said this to a client the other day. I said this to a client the other day because she's struggling financially. And she said, it's going to be $10,000, so I want to write a book. And I said, all right, cool. It's going to be $10,000, all in. I have to pay $3,300 a month for the next 3 months if I want to do it. And I said, okay. What if you don't make the money back, though? Let's have a conversation about this. And she said, yeah, there's a piece of me that just kind of wants to risk it. And I said, permission to ask you a frank question. You and I have a really good relationship. I feel safe doing this. Is that because you don't want to do the thing that got you here in the first place that you stopped doing? You're afraid you're going to have to go back to doing that? And she said, yeah, a little bit. And I said, that's what you got to do. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You got to go back
Kevin,
to that.
You and I.
Just call me Kevin?
I did, yeah. You and I did, dude. We lost sight of what we did in the beginning a little bit. Less than most.
Yeah, that's fair.
And those are the tried and true fundamentals that work, that will always work. You always used to say, scale the unscalable. I have someone trying to get into book club. I'm so grateful. I have to send an email after this. I'm sending the email. Me. I think it's cocky. Dude, I do. I think it's cocky to think you should just add a 0 or...
I agree.
I do. I feel like I have one client who's being horribly misled by a different coach, and I just can't stand it. So at the end of the day, if you really want to succeed at turning your passion into purpose, into profit, you're going to have to be willing to work hard in the beginning to master your craft and to generate leads and to build relationships with people who need your products and services. And you're not going to be able to... The iPhone is what? If you buy it retail, it's what, $1,200 or something like that? But it took 48 years for Apple to develop a phone that's that valuable. And by the way, if they charge $12,000, everyone would go to Android. Everyone. Half the population goes to Android anyway.
How much are Android phones? Are they the same price?
Android phones are probably a little cheaper than the iPhone, I think. Yeah. And I'm not sure. It depends on the phone, obviously. But the point is that you can't charge $50,000 for a concert, right? Maybe for the Super Bowl you can charge $10,000, but you can't charge $10,000 for a preseason game. I just really the value and the price have to be aligned, and it's very hard to align them. So if anyone wants help with this, please reach out. But this gets us fired up because Kevin and I have watched too many people be misled. Yeah,
it sucks. It sucks. I had a call with someone the other day, and we'll go into this. We'll go into this more, but they got invited to something, and it's very expensive to go there and do the thing. And the first thing the person that's hosting it said is, "Oh, you need to raise your prices. This person needs to raise their." They've never done coaching before. You're setting them up for failure. You quite literally are setting them up for failure. The reason I think free is so valuable in the beginning is because it takes the pressure off. Alan, imagine every time we did one of these episodes, we were getting paid $50,000. It probably wouldn't affect you that much. But I would be thinking everything I say would be different. I would be overthinking everything. I wouldn't be myself as much. Did I say the F word in the last episode? Gonna make sure we gotta cut that out because the sponsors aren't gonna like that. It wouldn't be the same. It couldn't be the same.
Yeah.
It couldn't be.
It's like an actor or an actress. It's their very first feature film, and they want $20 million. It doesn't make any sense, right? Tom Cruise, and again, I don't associate me with Tom Cruise. My point is Leonardo DiCaprio, whoever, they've been doing it for 40 years, so they get paid more. Imagine a lawyer, very first court case, and they're like, yeah, for me, it's gonna be $2,500 an hour. I'm gonna need 10 G's up front. It's like, dude, you haven't ever won a case ever, and I'm gonna put my life in your hands in a way. That
was you in high school. You showed up with a full suit on. I'm sure your bills you're probably looking $500, $600, $700 an hour. You lost your first case, and that was it. You retired.
You got to provide context for that.
Couldn't hang.
Kev was on the jury of a mock court case that I lost.
Somehow I ended up in a law class in high school, which may be the wildest thing out of all this. And that was one of my favorite classes of all time. And we had a mock court case, and Alan was the defense.
I was a tryhard.
And my best friend at the time was on the prosecution, and I was the foreman for the jury. So I'll let you guess what happened. You showed up in a full suit. What are you doing?
I'm a professional.
Throw on some khakis or something. You show up in a full suit. What do you?
You watch a show called Suits.
Yeah, now I resonate with them. But you got to know. Hey, first rule, jury selection. Got to know who the jury is. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Also,
I've been learning how, I've been learning about people ever since. Okay.
Yes. This is somewhat relevant to you. I believe you enjoyed the movie The Lincoln Lawyer.
It was fascinating as hell, yeah, for sure.
There is a series on Netflix, The Lincoln Lawyer. It's not Matthew McConaughey. It's a different guy.
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm not as into the series as I am movies. I do think that's where the industry's going. Movies, I like film, dude. I'm old school with that. I don't like series as much.
I have commitment issues with content. That's I'm telling you right now, that's what it is. I'm not willing to sit through 2 hours. I want to do 30 and then another arc. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It takes too long. The arc build up.
I'm old school with that.
It's all good.
But I also do like films that have. So, for example, trilogies. I'm a big fan of trilogies. I mean, if the movie's good enough, you love the Dark Knight trilogy and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'll sit down to watch it. I watch 15 minutes. Like, can't do this.
It's going that way.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
That's where
left.
the industry's going. I really believe series is where the whole industry's going. I actually am coaching a guy from Netflix and Disney, the company. They both worked there for 15 plus years, Netflix and Disney, and I'm coaching them next week. I'm super excited to pick their brains on stuff.
I'm sure they'll love that.
I know,
hey, welcome to the coaching call. 15. I need at least 15 to pick your brains about Netflix and Disney, and then we can get to the value.
It'll be fun. It'll end up
I'm
being
charge
more than a half hour, but
I'm going to charge you guys $3,000.
Yeah. Also, this will be $3.5 million for this.
And I need an introduction.
And I'm going to need you to tell me about your careers.
All right, we're going to get out of here because Alan's fired up. Understandably, this does fire us up. I just want to see people win, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of people setting other people up for failure. We don't like that.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
We don't like that. I want you to win.
I can't stand it.
And we started coaching for free. I still do free shit all the time. I love free. I have done 420 free podcast breakthrough sessions.
I have done 262 free breakthrough sessions.
It's a lot of time. Yeah. It's a lot of hours. Yeah. But
that's why I'm so grateful to have 26 clients.
Right. That's a piece of it.
Right. And they all started with a free breakthrough session. So if you're out there and you want to turn your passion into purpose, into profit, and you want to chase your dreams, you're going to have to learn either the hard way or I just really hope that we can help you avoid some of the pitfalls that a lot of people fall into.
100%. All right, Next Level Nation. If you have not yet gotten your Dreamliner, your Next Level Dreamliner, I have mine here. I've used it every single day so far, so I think it's 24 days, 25 days. Huge fan. Love it. It's on Amazon. It's honestly, again, I'm not just saying this. We have an app. Our app sucks, so I'm not just saying it because, and nothing against anybody that worked on the app. It's just, it's very expensive to get an app up and running and consistent and on the App Store. It's just, there's a lot of money involved. I use this every day. It's awesome. I'm excited to use it every day. You can see that I write in it every day. So I do not talk about things I don't believe in. That's why you never hear me talk about the app. It's just not there yet. But the Dreamliner is, so I'll have the link in the show notes. It's awesome.
If you're on YouTube, you can see me pointing at the little star on the top of the mountain.
That's you.
That's Kev. He's a rising star. That could
Appreciate
be you
that.
as well.
You're rising right now. If you're out there, you're a rising star.
All right, I desperately have to use the bathroom. So what am I plugging? If you want coaching, the first session is free and no strings attached. You don't have to sign up. There's no contract, nothing. Just sign up, give it a taste test, see if you like it, see if it's for you, and it might change your life. One courageous moment can change your entire life.
One piece of chicken can lead you to get all of the chickens.
Yeah.
And if
you never had umi chicken?
I don't
From
think so, no.
the Emerald Mall? Oh.
And any of the vegetarian vegans out there, one vegan dish. I don't know what a vegan tofu. Tofu is vegan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough about it. But for any of you out there that resonate with that, same thing. That's why they do that. So you go to the supermarket here. Let me get a little taste of it. Oh my God, this is the best thing I've had in my life. How do I acquire a box? We have a stack of them right here. I'll have 8. Give me 8 of them. I'll have 8 boxes right now.
8 boxes.
8 boxes.
And you eat the box.
I'm in. I'll have all of them. I want all of them. In fact, I'm going to take your spot, and I'm going to work here selling them so I can eat them. All right. Next Level Nation, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.